Hey everyone, I'm Alison from Better Half Reviews, and we're going to be doing a solo half review on the game Grove. This is from Side Room Games, and it's designed and created by Mark Tuck. So this is a solo, small box game, obviously, and you're playing with just a couple of cards per game, and you're trying to layer your cards and make up the best grove you can of citrus trees. So let's check it out. So in Grove, it's an 18 card game, and they're double-sided. What you're going to do is shuffle it up, deal out 9 cards, put the other 9 aside. You will not use them in the game, and these are going to be the cards that make up your Grove. So you're going to flip one over, and this will be your starting Grove. Draw 2. Put the rest down. This will be your hand, and your turn consists of putting down a card, placing dice, and then drawing back up to 2 until you complete all your cards. Then they will count up your points. So when you're placing a card down, you need to match fruit so it can overlap. So here I have a lemon with a lemon, a lime with a lime, and then the cards will either have 1 or 2 fruit on each of the trees. So I have 1 plus 2 is 3. So I would have 3 lemon in total, and then 3 lime. So you place it and overlap. And then I will draw back another card. Each of the cards do have an empty space called a glade, and there are a few different rules for that. So for example, right here, I've got orange matching, yellow matching, and then a glade. I can put this down, and then I would get to add the dice, so I would get a 2 orange and a 3 yellow. However, since you're putting this lime tree on top of a glade, you do not place a die. I draw back up. If, for example, I want to put this card here to match up my greens, there's going to end up being a glade here on top. What you do is you just put it on top. The number does not increase. But however, like when I put down a card again, I want to try to get a yellow there, because if you end the game with any dice on top of a grove, these are not worth any points. So let's say you get into this situation where I have a die that has a 6, and I'm going to place this here. So then this will increase to a 5. And this needs to go up 1. However, there is no number higher than 6 on the die except for the basket. So anything higher than 6 will become a basket. So if you have a 5 and you put down a 2 fruit, it needs to go to 7. There's no 7. You'll place a basket. And this is worth 10 points at the end of the game. And if I was somehow able to put down a card to increase the basket again, so like this, I need a 4 yellow, and I don't have anything higher on my die than a basket, you can switch it out for a wheelbarrow, which is worth 15 points at the end of the game. There is only one wheelbarrow, so if you upgrade another die and you need to increase it from a basket, it just stays as a basket. So what if you get to a situation where you really want to put a cart down, but all the spaces don't quite match? So I have yellow and yellow that match, but then this would be green on top of orange, which you cannot do in the game. But you can use the squirrel to place it once per game to take over a spot that doesn't match. But the squirrel won't let you put anything else on top of that section, and he's minus a point, and he'll be minus a point for each die that's orthogonally adjacent to it. So in this final card, I put it down, so I got a lime, and then I need to get a 3 yellow. But I am all out of yellow dice. The dice are limited, so I'm out 3 points. I don't get to place a yellow die there. All my cards are placed, so let's count up my score. And in the little booklet here, this is how you keep track. So my score of 54 is fabulous. So if you get above 60, you're simply the zest. If you get less than 40, you are pithful. Lots of puns. If you're ready for an extra challenge, on the backs of the cards are these different recipes. So you can shuffle it up and you'll pick 2 of these And these will be the recipe cards that you need to use for your game, and they'll have different objectives. So this one says that if you use all 5 lemon dice, you get an extra 5 points in the game. And then this one's a lime pickle. If you play a lime die on your first turn, you get a bonus of 1 point. And then these 2 numbers up top, you add them together, and that's your score that you want to beat. If your score doesn't add up to at least 56 in this case, you'll lose. And that's how you play Grove. So that's how you play the game. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons. So some of the pros. I like that this game is very compact, and it has a thinky punch in that small box. There's lots of, puzzles and analyzing what's the best thing to do. Some games are better than others, of course, because it's kind of the luck of the draw, but also, you have to be smart with how you're placing your cards. I found that if you cover up all your grove spaces too early, that can be a little bit tricky with trying to overlay more cards later to get that higher amount, like with the baskets or even with the wheelbarrow. So that's a strategy just to think of. I like how appealing the cards are. It's just a nice, happy looking game. And like the little meeples, the squirrel, and the wheelbarrow, the custom dice. I like all the components. It's good. This is a prototype copy, so I'm not sure how things may adjust or change, but it looks pretty great here on my table already. So for any of the cons, I guess the only thing I would say is there's a little bit of fiddliness. So if you're laying over the cards and you have to place down like 4 different dice, for me, I'll forget if I don't put it on top of the card. So I'm always like trying to put the dice on top of the card and then like match it up. So you can bump things easily when you're placing cards down. So it's just a little bit fiddly, not too terrible, but just something to be aware of. I pretty much think that's mostly my only con. I guess some games you just don't have good cards that match up together, but that really depends on how you're placing your cards too. So you can just have some bad luck every once in a while. But I feel like even though I've had some bad luck games, I'm still able to try to mitigate that with my squirrel and try to work around it and make something better. I've only had a couple games that I'd be like, oof, that's bad. But as you play it more, you kind of get the hang of it and see how you can maybe adjust things. And even with playing it a lot, I still feel like each game is different. It's a puzzle that you're putting together each time. So I feel like there's a good amount of replayability available, especially with these recipe cards on the back. So once you've got the game down and maybe you want an extra challenge, you can put together some recipe cards and try to go for higher points. So some of the recipe cards seem a little bit intimidating. So like you add up the 2 scores together. This one gets you, that's like 79 points pretty much. That's a high scoring game, but all orange dice score you double. And then let's see, what's this one? Tutti Frutti. It says at least 4 dice of each color in play, bonus 10 points. So that gives you some good things to shoot for, but some games you don't put that many dice on the board. So that's just, something to think about. If you want to make it harder on yourself, go for the recipe cards. So final thoughts about Grove. I think this is a fantastic solo game. I love that it's compact. I can take it with me anywhere, and you don't have to take up a ton of space to play it, and it doesn't take a lot of time to play it either. So as a mom with a young child, I don't have a lot of time, space, or arms to carry games. So this is a really good game that I recommend if you have that time crunch, but you still want to have some game time and some thinky puzzliness. Go for Grove. I'll put a link down below in the description where you can back this game if you want to. It's on Kickstarter right now. And if you're getting to this video a little bit later, maybe there will be a late pledge. But I highly recommend this if you are a solo gamer, or even if you're not a solo gamer, and you just want a game with some puzzly thinkiness that looks appealing on your table. So this is another solo half review from Better Half Reviews. I'm Allison. Happy gaming! Let's go make some trees. Don't let the squirrel eat your fruit. This is your how to play video.